Carl and his friend Ash flew to Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland. They had arrived early in the morning, so they decided to go to their destination right away, without stopping for the night. Their destination was Whitefield. This small town was not far from Loch Ness. They found a cab driver who was willing to take them there. They had to pay a lot of money, but it was worth it. Carl had originally planned to rent a cabin and throw all their things there, but Ash suddenly told the driver that they were not going to Whitefield, but to the shore of Loch Ness. Carl was surprised and asked why they were suddenly changing their destination. Ash replied that they need to keep an eye on Nessie at all times. What if it appears while they are sitting in the house? Carl objected, saying that they will here for 3 days. They can't just sit on the beach in a tent the whole time. Ash chuckled and said that they would have to arrange a meeting schedule with Nessie then. Carl sighed. He had to agree with his friend. Honestly, he didn't believe in that legend. Ash said there were pictures to prove its existence. Turning to his friend, Carl noted that he had read on the internet that it was a picture of a whale's genitals. Ash laughed and asked, since when have whales been in lakes? Carl realized he was dumb and hurried to change the conversation. They arrived at the lake 3 hours later. Ash threw his backpack off his back and started to take out the tent, and then they started to set it up together. Carl noticed that his partner had also taken a large air mattress, for which he was immensely grateful, because his back wasn't ready for such an ordeal. Night was approaching and Ash went to look for a convenient observation point, noting that they would take turns on watch. This was news to Carl. Apparently he wasn't going to get much sleep. Ash said that he would be on watch for the first half of the night, and then they would switch shifts. The guy pointed Carl to a small stone elevation, which he used as an observation point. From there he could see the lake well. Closer to night, Ash took a bag with sandwiches and a couple of drinks, and then went to the rocks, saying good night to his friend. Carl, on the other hand, was lying in his tent reading a book with a flashlight. After a couple of hours he saw that it was already 1 o'clock in the morning and he had not long to sleep. He looked out of the tent, checked that Ash was there, and went back to sleep. Carl woke up with a strong urge to go to the bathroom. Ash hadn't called him yet. Apparently it wasn't time to go to shift. He decided to look at the clock. The dial showed 7 a.m. Strange, because Ash was supposed to wake him up at 5 a.m. When he left the tent, Carl looked towards the rocks, but it was empty. The urge to go to the toilet was a little dulled and he decided to come closer. When Carl came to the right place, there was no one around, so he decided to call Ash. For about 10 minutes the guy walked and called his friend, but in response only silence. Carl began to worry. But suddenly in the distance over the water he saw a strange figure, like a swan, but a very big swan. Maybe it was some kind of island. As he got closer to the edge of the rocks, he noticed that all of Ash's belongings were in place. On his backpack, the boy saw blood. As he stooped down and started looking closer at the stuff, something hit him with a hard thud, causing Carl to fall into the water. Under the water he opened his eyes, but it was terribly dark. The guy started to rise to the surface, but then something caught him in the leg and pulled him down. The grip was strong and there was no way to get out. But then he felt that the grip weakened and Carl began to struggle to swim out. But he didn't know that the creature had loosened its grip only to claw at him with its teeth.